Do you ever open your closet and think, why did I buy that? I definitely have, a lot. But not since shopping with Quince. I see fewer misses and a lot more hits that I'll be wearing season after season. Quince has all the seasonal must-haves, like 100% European linen shirts from $30, performance polos, and versatile activewear. The best part of all, Quince items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. By partnering directly with top factories, Quince cuts out the cost of all the middlemen and passes the savings on to us. And Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices, along with premium fabrics and finishes. I really like that. I just got 2 shirts. I ordered a third. It's coming in a week. I got 2 shirts. I just got them a couple days ago. The quality is unmatchable. I love them. They feel great. They fit great. That's why you got to shop at Quince. Fill your closet with timeless pieces that you'll be wearing for summers to come with Quince. Go to quince.com/Bubba for free shipping on your order and a 365-day return policy. That's QUINCE.com/Bubba to get free shipping on your order. And again, the 365-day return policy. Quince.com/Bubba.
What's up, boys and girls, everybody out there in podcast land? Thanks for tuning in this week. This is Tigs Bits. Everybody loves Tigs Bits. I'm your old buddy, old pal, JR the Handler. In front of me on this screen today, I've got my brother Brantley, a.k.a. Tigs, a.k.a. Corndog Barney. To the right of him, I've got a slightly pixelated, still handsome version of my dear, dear old friend, Chad Blasey, a.k.a. Blossy, the one-man posse. And we are coming to you direct today for a podcast here on the Bubba Radio Podcast Army Network. I don't know exactly what it's called, but y'all know what I mean. So we're glad to be here. Thanks for all you guys and gals for tuning in this week. What a week we've had leading into this podcast on so many fronts. We're going to get into all of that today. I've got a special guest coming on to help us with some stuff, chit-chat about things. But before we go any further, let's see what everybody else has had going on today. I know Blasey was just telling us about his internet problems. He thought he had them resolved. Apparently they are resolved as much as his resolution is right now coming through his iPhone. Tiggs has had a big week because one of our number one main junior correspondents is having his first week of padded football practice down in the heat of Louisiana.
Correction. Senior.
Oh, I forgot. I wasn't there.
Yes.
I forgot.
Yes,
I forgot.
we have promotions across the board. We have promotions across the board.
That's exactly
so
right.
What's up, guys? Good to see you boys again.
Man.
Good to see you, man. Good to see you. You know, it was just not long ago we talked about this brand new $25 million facility in Baton Rouge and kind of laughed about it like, oh, what a perfect time for it to be made and blah, blah, blah. Come to find out, Riley's little class, they're the first group to get to use it.
Oh, wow.
And it started last night. You could still smell the glue in that thing, man. I mean, it's just
brand new.
So fresh. You smell the paint. They have it's done with Oshner. They're partnered with Oshner. I don't know the whole story about this, but apparently it's a $25 million facility. Not a 100-yard field inside. I'd say it's probably 60 yards or so. But it's plenty big, nice turf on it, field turf.
I saw that video, man. It looks awesome in there.
And you can see it's just bright lit up. That place looks brand new. But they have this really nice gym and training stuff adjacent to that warehouse-like building that has the football field in it. They have cryovac tanks in there, whatever, all of that stuff. I saw the guys walking people around, touring some of the people. It's still under construction. It's good enough for you to get to go, but man, what a facility. Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I mean, what do you expect here? It's going to continue to pump out powerhouse football players here in this area. So,
oh, yeah. Yep.
We've got to love that.
Yes, absolutely you do.
Blasey, you still driving around looking for sausage biscuits?
I found the sausage, buddy. It took a little while. It took a lot of effort. You know what I mean? A lot of determination. You know what I mean? Drive, passion, all that good stuff. So
drive, passion, and patience.
Yes.
Hey, it's funny you say that this week I'm listening to another podcast, the Snake Pit with Jake the Snake Roberts podcast, and Conrad Thompson, who is the pod father over in Wrestling World, he reads that same ad for their network.
Does he really?
But he does. It's totally different from it's his North Alabama accent, and it's just totally different from Bubba. When he started doing it, I was like, oh, that's the same commercial, but just read different. And I was like,
we got to get a copy of it.
Yeah, y'all will have to check
get a
that
copy
out.
of that.
We'll compare. Bubba's. I think Bubba's is better. But Conrad sells it too. Conrad knows what he's doing too.
Conrad's about 14 levels higher than the rest of the audio on everything else too. Just come right at you.
Bam.
No, he's got it dialed in.
That's done on purpose. That's done on purpose.
Right.
It
Conrad,
definitely wakes you up.
There's a guy we'd love to have on here sometime. Conrad Thompson. He's married to Ric Flair's daughter. Came in the world. He's a real estate agent and a broker up in North Alabama. I think Coleman or Huntsville up that way. But got into wrestling years ago. Married Flair's daughter, but now he runs all their podcasts. He helps them with all this stuff after the career. He's just really big in all that stuff. Conrad's done a lot, and I don't know him. I've never met him, but I hope we can get him on.
Yeah, that'd be a fun business.
So he's married to Miss Charlotte Flair?
No, another daughter.
Okay, I was wondering. I was thinking, hold on, this is not making sense because she's married to
another wrestler, I think.
Yes, absolutely. So
and I tell you, the guy we've got coming on our podcast today, I'll introduce him here shortly when he jumps on, but he knows about wrestling. And I was telling you a little bit about this before we jumped on. He knows all about wrestling. He knows about sports. He can hoop. He's got a nice jumper. He thinks he can take me. I don't know. My knees are a little tired, but I still think I got him. But he may even know about this. And this will be one, Blasey, when you ask the little bits of controversy, when you would ask a question to see if someone would know.
Oh, well, are we?
Okay.
No, when you did, when you used to, and you would ask if they know Bubba. This guy knows Bubba. When I saw Kurt a few weeks ago, we were in Dewey Beach, Delaware, which we talked about that a little on here. When we were at Dewey Beach, we sat down and did an interview for his television show that's coming out, and he'll talk all about that here in a few months. But the first thing I told him, he said, the podcast is going good. I've been keeping up. I was like, yeah, it's been a lot of fun. We got picked up by the Bubba Army podcast network, Bubba the Love Sponge. I said, you know who that is? He said, oh yeah, Bubba's NWO. That was his first comment. So he knows that he knows all about it.
That is awesome, man. That is awesome. That's really cool. I can't wait. And full disclosure here, this is how we roll. I think this is okay, kind of part of our show and kind of who we are. We evolve and we adapt, but literally 30 minutes before we're getting ready to record, we get a text from JR, which he had told us about this guy that's coming on, our guest, and I'm really excited about it. And he's like,
sure.
By the way, he's coming on today. You ready?
I mean, generally like to have a few notes, a couple of little things.
I guess I'll throw away these mustard mayonnaise that we're about
to
talk about and ketchup. I think we're going back to the condiment show again. So we threw the condiment show back. That's twice the condiment show has been canned. So
it's back out. Well, it's like we've always said, this podcast is like sitting at a bar with your friends. Yeah. And you're just chopping it up. So same thing like that. You never know who your friend invites to the bar to hang out with you.
That's right.
So boys, meet my friend Kurt, who I invited to the bar to sit and chop it up with us today. Kurt, boys, Kurt.
What's happening, Kurt? Thanks for coming on.
What's going on, brothers?
Yeah, what's going on, man? Good to see you. I know you probably can't see me. They make fun of my picture over here. I'm a little pixelated, I think, down here.
Are you real, or are you like some sort of AI-generated bar stool?
I am an AI-generated bar stool. That's a great thing to say. I'm actually a product of JR's mind. You know what I mean? He just envisioned me.
Oh, Lord.
This is what came out.
I needed some co-hosts for a podcast, and I thought I just willed it in to fruition, and there he is.
I mean, what scares me, JR, is he sounds a lot like Don Grisham accent-wise.
Oh yeah. It's that deep South. Oh, it's there. So Blasey is from South Alabama, not too far from where we were fraternity brothers in college. Brantley, aka Tigs,
is strong.
Yeah, well, Blasey's Troy.
I'm an anomaly. Yep, I am.
He is full Troy, no Auburn, no Alabama allegiance. He's full Troy, 100%.
I washed all that out of me. You know what I mean? I cleansed myself of all my sins from my past. You know.
And Brantley was Blasey's neighbor when they both lived down outside of Destin, Florida, and now Brantley's back in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. So that's how we all came together. Kurt, where are you coming to today? You at home? You in Virginia, D.C.
I'm
area?
in good old Virginia, Washington, D.C. Not a lot going on here this week. They're pretty quiet, D.C. You know.
It's just a quiet week.
Well, that's what I thought this morning. I thought if we're going to sit up here and talk about stuff we have no clue about, I got to bring in my ringer and bring in someone who actually might know something about any of this stuff that's going on. And I know we'll get into all of that, but thank you for coming on today, Kurt. I know we just got to see each other a few weeks ago out in Dewey Beach, Delaware, one of our annual hangout spots when we do our shows out there every year. It was good to catch up with you and Don Grisham and Joey. What about Joey falling asleep on that guy's shoulder at the end of the night?
Joey
so
G, you know, it gets to a certain point in the night. He's had 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 drinks, and
good night.
Father Time catches up with him real quick.
To the best of us.
Got to take it down.
But I was telling the guys that we got to sit down and do an interview for your show, Kurt's Country, that's coming out on your new home, your new network home that you've been working with now. News Nation. And I was telling them, they were like, well, how'd you get to know Kurt? And I said, man, that's a long story. And he's like, well, how'd Kurt get doing all this? I said, that's a long story. So glad to have you on today to save me from butchering your stories. So you want to tell the guys, we've known each other for a long time, so I know all about you. You want to tell the guys and gals out there in podcast land listening to the Tigs Bits podcast today how you got to be the Kurt I know today.
Yeah, I've been out here in D.C. since 2006. Worked on Capitol Hill for members of Congress, the House, Senate, congressional committees, and had kind of a front row seat to how this entire new era of politics that we're currently in came to be. And it's so different. I remember the very first Christmas that I was here. It was the George W. Bush Christmas party at the White House, and how different that world was compared to where we are now. And, kind of along the way, I also became a really, really big country music fan. And, just started going to shows like anyone. I remember, going to the amphitheater out here in Virginia, sitting up there in the lawn in the cheap seats, watching a lot of artists. One of my first shows that I ever got to experience was Brad Paisley, and Justin Moore was the supporting act on that tour. And that's when I became a Justin Moore fan. Actually, was at that show back in like 2012 or something. Flash forward to 2016, 2017, and I'd stopped working on Capitol Hill, started doing more of the media thing going on. Fox, CNN, MSNBC, all three, all the time, talking about politics. And just kind of as a mental break, I started a daily morning email tip sheet about country music called The Morning Hangover. That, much to my shock, started being widely read in Nashville and in the industry side of things. And again, I'm just this guy in DC, not in the industry, have never worked in the industry, just doing something really just for fun as a hobby. And it just took off. And the very first time I got to go to a show kind of wearing this morning hangover hat, it was a Justin Moore show. And the very first tour bus I ever got to go on was Justin Moore's bus when his label rep at the time, MTK, who now works at Amazon, saw me at the show, recognized me from my tip sheet, said, "You want to come meet Justin?" I said, "Sure." Thinking it'd just be cool, 5 minutes, whatever, no big deal. And Justin and I started talking for like 2 hours. We just hit it off. And it really goes to tell you the kind of guy that Justin is, that you are. I'm nobody. I mean, compared to a Justin Moore, right? And he certainly at this point has no idea who I am. And to give that kind of time and to just have a conversation where you click with somebody was one of the most memorable experiences of my life. And that's kind of the start of the Justin Moore friendship that I had. And as I continued on with this project, it kept getting bigger and bigger. And I personally believe that Justin is one of the most underappreciated talents in our country music world. He just puts out nothing but good music. His consistency and his loyalty to his fans never wavers. This guy's got almost 13 number ones by now. You go to a Justin Moore show, it is just hit after hit after hit.
It is.
And Justin's one of the only 3 or 4 artists that I will go to extraordinary lengths to see live. If he is playing within a 5-hour radius of me, I will be there. And
that's awesome.
of all the artists I've gotten to know, I've probably seen his show more than just about anybody's at this point, and it never gets old to me. And as we turn the calendar to 2024, I signed a new deal with this company called News Nation. It's the fastest growing cable news network in America. Has a lot of names you've heard of, from Chris Cuomo to Elizabeth Vargas to Leland Vittert. And to me, their brand is very much kind of what the world was before 2016. It is a place where you can be Republican, Democrat on the same show together, and you can have a conversation. You're not yelling at each other. You're not trying to make the other person look bad. It is
crazy concept, right?
Imagine that. Imagine that.
Right.
It's like you're not up there going, "You're wrong," and you're a racist. It's like, what? What are you talking about?
It's become my news source. I mean, that is, I love that channel. It's replaced everything else for me because you can get both sides. You can hear both sides. You can hear an argument, and you can make an informed decision for yourself. That's the way it should be, right?
And as I started doing this News Nation gig, the powers that be started seeing my social media going like, why are you at like a Tim McGraw or a Keith Urban concert? Like, wait, like, why are you at WrestleMania 40 in Philly? Like, what is your life? And so they started seeing that I had this completely different world that I walked through, and decided that it'd be really cool to send a camera with me everywhere that I go. And that's the concept of this new show called Kurt's Country that we're going to be launching here coming up in August. And we just filmed an episode with Justin and his opening act Tyler Kinch at Dewey Beach, and it was just a lot of fun. It was great, and it was really important to me as we filmed this episode to do an interview with JR the Handler, because I just think that JR is one of the most interesting characters you will ever meet in any form of entertainment.
Absolutely, dude.
I
That's
agree
why he's on
100%.
here. We
I've been
agree.
called worse.
Yeah. It's like an onion that we continue
Character.
to try to peel back. The next thing you know, we're just sitting here talking. We're wrapping up the end of the show, and then it's like, oh, by the way, I just saw blah, 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 and hung out with this and this. It's like, wait, what? Why didn't we talk about this in the beginning? It's unbelievable. Yeah, he's the best. He's the best, and that's enough. That's enough. We don't need him to get the big head like Blasey got a couple of weeks ago.
Right. Yeah, Blasey. Hey, for context, Kurt. This show is on the Bubba Army Podcast Network, which we talked about Bubba when we saw each other recently. So Blasey, the one-man posse, huge Bubba fan for years and years, lived in Florida for a long, long time. We get this thing going. They're rapping about some controversy with Bubba on our show one day. Well, Bubba sees it. Next thing you know, Bubba's calling us, his podcast coordinator's calling us, and now we're on his network because of Blasey doing that. Fast forward, I don't know, a couple of months into this thing, we're all still excited. Blasey's down there. They invite him to the studio, the whole thing. I mean, it's like – it's like he went to WrestleMania, but they let him commentate too. You know what I mean? So after that, Brantley and I are like, we're never going to be able to tell him shit. You know what I mean? He's that's the top. He's already
a made man now.
Come on the tour bus and play. You get to play around. You want to take a shower? You know what I mean? You got access to the whole thing. You know, it was like a kid in a candy store. And they actually did leave me alone in that studio one time for like 45 minutes, and I'm just all over that place, just checking the whole place out. So super cool deal there. Super cool deal.
It in a candy store right there.
That's it.
So, but and we talked about that when we were doing after we did our interview. I was telling Kurt about this getting picked up by the Bubba Army. And I said, you know who Bubba is? And he goes, of course I do. Bubba's NWO.
Life.
For life. So Kurt knows wrestling. Kurt knows hoops. Kurt's got a good jumper. And I thought this would just be fun today to catch up on all those things. Kurt, is that where you know Bubba from mainly, is from wrestling? Did you know about his
back in the day,
radio show
watching
before that?
him with Hogan and the NWO, and I know that him and Hogan obviously are even a very long-standing friendship. They're very tight. I was thinking about Bubba the other day when I saw Hogan show up at the RNC convention there, ripping off a shirt and talking about what you're going to do when the Trumpet Maniacs run wild on you, I guess. Good throwback there. But so I'm well familiar with Bubba.
Yeah,
that was a wild deal just there with Hogan. He got everybody into it. It was just classic. It was like going back to 1987.
It was
show business. It was
so
total
good,
show
man.
business.
I thought
Trump
it was
got the
Saturday
show
night
business down
main
pat.
event. You know what I mean? Like here he
Remember
goes.
that back in the day? You know,
Oh,
Hogan,
yes.
Macho Man, Ultimate Warrior,
So good,
Mega
dude.
Powers.
That was my peak of wrestling watching.
Yeah.
Was during that time frame as well. So
That
yeah,
was
so
huge.
Bubba and Hogan, they're not tight anymore. They don't really speak. So all that craziness that took place, I'm sure you may have not heard about the whole Hogan sex tape deal and all that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, but Bubba was talking about how Hogan gimmicks up his shirts. You know what I mean, with the little cuts here. And he used to do that for him. And he said, what he missed out was he didn't do the bottom gimmick.
He didn't do the bottom. That's
and he
exactly
ripped it
right.
and he got hung on the bottom. He said, if I'd have been there, he wouldn't have got hung up on that bottom gimmick deal. So
It would have come
That's
right down.
funny. Look at see, it's the little details. It's the little things that I love that. That's interesting.
He forgot one little bitty thing. He just forgot that one little thing. But still,
It's always
badass.
about those tigs and bits you lose track of.
That's it.
Yeah.
That
Really
is
is.
exactly right.
It really
nice
is.
work there.
No, I talking about that whole spectacle the other night, I thought that was just wild. And Kid Rock coming on, Lee Greenwood. I mean,
What is happening?
I know. I'm like, is this? I mean, it's total show business, as we know. President Trump's has figured that out.
All about the showbiz.
Yeah, showbiz, and that's our society. That's where we're. I mean, that's why you don't hear the news channels aren't filled with the heroes of the day. They're filled with the villains of the day, or would be villains of the day, because it sells more tickets for whatever reason.
As fans of professional wrestling, we all know how important the heels are to the business. Like
absolutely,
the stories about the heel, not the baby face, and the news is very much the same way as well.
Yeah,
I know. So,
but
but
I
I
really
thought
is. It
it
really
100%
is
is.
exactly like
Yep.
that.
Yeah,
it really is. I mean, and it sells and it works. And I thought it was good. I thought Trump went on for way too long. That's the same with when he was
fell
president.
asleep and woke back up. I was like, is this still happening?
I swear, we were watching it intently for the first half hour, and then my whole family, I look around, everybody's on their phones. I'm like, yeah, he kind of lost us there.
I just had lunch with the guy from Georgia, diehard Republican, and he had said, if you only saw the first half hour, it's one of the greatest convention speeches of all time.
Yeah.
If you saw the whole thing, you're like, this went on an hour too long. Like,
yes,
a little too long.
Right.
That's my knock on it. That's my one knock on it, really, because I looked at the time. I thought they're going to go on production schedule. It's 9:30. News is coming on at 10. He's got 30 minutes. Perfect. He just got shot at. I mean, that's what he's going to give his thing. He doesn't have to say much. He has to say like 4 things and walk off.
Get in, get out, drop the mic, walk away.
Yeah.
But just like when he was president, and I'm a fan of his, But just like except for some of these things, like when he was president, he would say something and it would make so much sense, and at the very end he'd say, "All right, poopy face, horse face," or something just ridiculous, and I'm like, if you'd have left that part out, if you'd have left the poopy face out,
it's like
you had everybody. You had everybody until you wrote poopy face. And I'm like,
well, a friend of mine who worked at the convention was telling me that in the prompter, the speech that they loaded in there was about 3,000 words. He ended up giving a 12,000 word speech.
God Lord.
Can't help it. He can't help it.
Oh my God, that is crazy.
And then you flip on the other side. I mean, and I'm not going to be mean, because we are all human. I love what Jenna Bush said about the whole situation. We are all human, but everyone that's cognitively able knows that President Biden has just overstayed his stay there, and it's just not happening anymore. So you got kind of the opposite. You got one that does that, and if I don't think President Biden could get out that many words. If he did, they wouldn't be legible. But now that we've got, it wouldn't. Y'all know it wouldn't. He couldn't say that many words that fast. It would be mumble up jumble.
Listen, I don't want to hear 12,000 words from anybody at this point.
Anybody,
That's
exactly. Do the work.
Less is more.
Less is more.
Yes.
So, but you flip. You've got two opposites on there.
Mm-hmm.
It's really wild. We've got the Democratic convention coming up in a few weeks.
It's going to be interesting.
Everyone just saw President Biden has said he removed him from running in the next electoral. Has endorsed his Vice President Harris.
Mm-hmm.
Kurt, what do you think about that whole situation?
I mean, one, like, and I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. I think all of us who like probably who have a grandparent or a parent like knows what it's like to watch, someone in decline, and it's not pleasant. Like, it's not something that, like, he is right now at this moment. He is the United States of America president. Like, I always want our president to succeed, no matter who's in the office, because it is a reflection of our country and a reflection of our people.
Yeah.
Watching him speak, it's like watching grandpa try to cross the street when there's ice on the ground. You're like, oh my God, what's going to happen? Like, if I were related to him, I would not want him to run for president again, knowing that that's the last image we're going to have of him.
Right.
I was relieved that he made the decision ultimately to not run again, because I think that's best for our country. I think that's best for his legacy.
Yeah.
And I think we should underestimate the fact that when you have the most powerful position in all the world, like, however it happened, deciding not to pursue that again, most people don't do that. Most people hang on for dear life to that power for as much and as long as they can. And he made the hard decision here to take himself out and essentially admit Father Time is undefeated.
Yeah.
In sports, in life, in everything.
You're right.
Father Time always wins. And so, I applaud the fact that he did that, because it's not something you see very often, especially in politics where everybody wants power.
Right.
So good for him for doing that. And I think that's honestly what's best for him and our country. And I think the race now is very different. 3 weeks ago, I would have told you, and I told this to JR and Justin on the bus, Donald Trump going to win in a landslide. It's not going to be close. Like, if I were Donald Trump, I'd go on vacation until November, because you're going to win.
And less is more. Keep your mouth shut.
Yes.
That's right.
Less more. Absolutely.
And that was before the assassination attempt. Crying out loud. Now it's like, okay, now now who knows, right? It's anybody's game. It is an actual contest. It's a fair fight. It's going to be a very different campaign now. And it's historic. Like, no matter what ends up happening here, like, this is historic. This is the first time in American political history a woman of color is one of the two nominees running for president. No matter how it ends, I think that's a good thing, just in general. Like, that's great. I think that Donald Trump has an opportunity to make history here in terms of being one of the only presidents to run, win, then lose, and then run again and win. Like, that doesn't happen very often in this game.
Yep.
You don't get that second chance usually.
True.
So that's historic in its own way. And regardless of the outcome, we now know that there is a new generation of leadership waiting in the wings to take over from Biden and Trump, whether it's J.D. Vance on the Republican side, who's 39 years old and without that beard looks like he's 22, frankly.
That's correct.
Or Kamala Harris and whoever she picks as her vice president. Like, there's just a new generation. And the thing I hear the most from everybody across party lines, they are ready for new leadership. They're ready for a breath of fresh air.
Yeah. And I could see that. I grew up in politics in Louisiana at the state level, and it needs that kind of energy change. And you living in Washington and understanding that it's grown stale. It's stale on both sides. I mean, it's the same rhetoric every single day, every single week. There needs to be some new blood and some, that can be more in the middle, can harmonize on both sides a little bit more, not the extreme left, not the extreme right, just kind of, and it looks like America's trying to come back to that. It's trying to get back to the middle, which is
because one thing I know, like, when I spend time with just normal folks in the country, and I'm probably the only, like, pundit in cable news world here that actually spends time with real America, frankly, because of my country music life. And I'll tell you, I still believe, after everything that I've seen, and as ugly as it gets and as divisive as it can be, there are still more things that unite us than divide us in this country. And that's why I love things like, Cody Johnson the other night at his show, said, like, I know there are people here who like Joe Biden. I know there are people here who like Donald Trump. And all I'm going to tell you is, like, whatever you want to do, whatever you want, like, that's fine. We are here tonight for music. We are here tonight for unity, and I love that message. I think that's great.
Absolutely. That's the way it should be.
Oh, no, I say that all the time, man. It's like, there's so many more things like what you're saying that bring us together, but both parties have managed to make the other smaller things so much bigger than actually what brings us together. And it's kind of, and it's just straight BS, man. It's like, so I'm not a fan of either party. I've been a registered independent for 20 years. Like, I'm just not, so I find myself kind of going back and forth, and I've shifted now, look like I'm more right wing. And it's like, I'm really not, man. I'm really centered, like in overall, and I can talk to people on both sides and we can all get along and have fun together, but like they've made it this dang Bloods and Crips battle, dude.
Well, and really the problem
wild.
is, and the people that I honestly hold responsible the most for this is the mainstream media institutions who elevate the extreme voices, who make money off of the extreme voices, and make us think that everyone is like that, when in reality it really isn't. We are all most people just trying to get through the day, get our kids to school, to practice, do their homework, eat dinner, walk the dog, go to bed, wake up, do it again. That's life. That's normal life for most people in this country right there.
Yeah.
Right.
Keep the lights on, pay the bills, save a little money for vacation, save a little bit for retirement. That's really all we want to do. You know what I mean?
It really is that simple.
Yeah.
And the media tends to elevate these voices and throw at these crazy ideas like that really aren't what most people are dealing with on any given day.
Right.
You are absolutely right, man. Yeah,
creates
100%.
a good narrative, though, and brings in viewers.
Like I said, they make money. A lot of people got rich off of dividing America. I mean, let's be clear here. And that's what I think is probably the most offensive. And I wish most people kind of realize, like, man, like, you should see these people when the cameras go off.
Exactly.
And when they're not performing anymore. Because they sing a very different tune. Like, they are pretending. And you guys are kind of just like, you're their ATM machine. I would say people on the right and the left in media, like, they aren't as right and left as they pretend to be.
That is correct. Heels, baby faces, the production.
And they make turns. And they'll work the gimmick, and they'll make a heel turn or a face turn when needed. For whatever purpose they need to use it for. I mean,
it is nothing but wrestling that's going on there.
I love a great deal just as much as the next guy, but I'm not going to crawl through a bed of hot coals or go out of my way just to save a few bucks. And if I am, man, it's got to be easy. No hoops, no BS. So when Mint Mobile says it's easy to get wireless for $15 a month with the purchase of a 3-month plan, I'm going to call them out on it. Turns out, it's really that easy. It's that easy to get wireless for $15 a month. The longest part of the process was the time I spent on hold waiting to break up with my old provider. That's a nightmare. Wish everything was as easy as Mint. All plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk-to-text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. You can use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your old phone number with you, along with all of your existing contacts. To get this new customer offer with your 3-month premium wireless plan for only $15 a month, you must go to mintmobile.com/Bubba. That's mintmobile.com/BUBBA. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/Bubba. $45 upfront payment required, equivalent to $15 a month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Speed slower on 40 gigabytes on unlimited plans. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. See Mint Mobile for details.
This podcast is brought to you by eHarmony, the dating app to find someone you can be yourself with. Why doesn't eHarmony allow copy and paste in first messages? Because you are unique, and your conversations should reflect that. eHarmony wants you to find someone who will get you. How are you going to know who gets you if people send you the same generic conversation starters they message everyone else? Conversations that actually help you get to know each other. Imagine that. Get who gets you on eHarmony. Sign up today.
Oh my God. I mean, I have told people, I say this all the time. If you don't understand politics today, just take 3 hours, watch Monday Night Raw on the USA Network or SmackDown on Fox, and it will all make sense, because that's what it is. It's like, you might as well just say, like, hey, Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's Charlotte Flair, Donald Trump might as well be Stone Cold Steve Austin. Joe Biden is Ric Flair. I mean, like, that's what this is.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly what it is. I love that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Now we just need for people to say, like, the president needs to come in with his own entrance music now. Smoke, fire,
I want
laser,
some pyro.
Like,
I want to see someone hit someone with a chair at a debate.
Yes. Yes.
Hey, Trump's done it. Trump's taken a stunner. He's been a big wrestling
Caved
fan
into
for
the
a
man's
long
head,
time.
battled billionaires at WrestleMania.
right.
Yes.
I mean, I always joke that back in the 2016 campaign, Ted Cruz would be president of the United States right now if on that debate stage when Donald Trump made fun of his wife and dad, if Ted had walked on over and just gotten in his grill and said, "You better take that back or I'm going to knock you out," like boom, it'd be over. If he had gone full WWE in that moment, Ted Cruz would have been president.
He would have turned. That would have been a huge turn. True.
Huge turn.
Big point. And everybody thought he had
man.
the. Everybody thought, you ain't messing with him. If he sticks up for his family like that, he'll stick up for our country.
Yeah, that's
bet
right.
it
I mean,
went
if
through his
I were in
head.
charge of either political party or campaign, the very first hire I would make if I were running for president, I'd be like, I'd like to hire Paul Heyman to write my speeches and to teach me how to cut a promo.
Yeah.
No one does it better, do they?
And if you have to
No
call,
one
if you have to
does it.
call it in the ring, and you're and Cruz is undecisive whether he should walk up on him or not, you have to have a code word like they do in the ring when you're calling the ring. You could just say Will Smith,
Yep.
and that would mean to go over there and take a swing. You know,
That's right.
Will Smith is the caller.
collar and elbow tie up. All right, shoot me off the ropes. We're gonna shoulder block takedown. Then Will Smith.
Words from the wise man.
Yeah. See, JR can do it. JR can be the wise man here.
Yes, JR's the wise man of politics. I think we've got a role for him.
Oh, wow.
I also think it's just better if you walk out with a posse of people, walking out like
your
just
faction.
strength in
You got to have
numbers.
your faction. Yeah, you got to
have the faction. Can you imagine
Absolutely.
you, me, Joey, Justin Moore walking out, fingers in the air?
the faction.
Just
That's
paints
it.
the scene.
That's it.
I love that.
Oh my gosh, how fun would that be? Well, we're all looking forward to seeing how who wins at SummerSlam this November. So we'll be paying attention to all that. Kurt, what, besides all that good news, have you been able to get out and play any hoops lately? I know you're an avid sportsman and you like to hoop from time. Have you been hooping any lately?
I have. I played like last week when we got back from Dewey. I played 3 times last week. I kid you not. Basketball is a big part of my life. I try to play 3 or 4 times a week. It's like my stress release.
That's awesome, man. Yeah.
I will orchestrate my travel, my TV, my wife, everything around basketball. It is.
I love that.
It is, and I got to say, and I'll say this publicly, and JR knows this. Justin Moore's been ducking me for years on the court. I just want to say I have said
here
every
we
year.
go.
I'm trying to get him to play basketball. I hear he's really good. Was all state or whatever in Arkansas. I've even heard rumors that JR's used to have a good jump shot back in the day at least. But
yeah.
I have never gotten them on a basketball court. That's all I'm saying.
He caught us just out of our prime, but we're going to try to make this comeback like Rocky 6 here and see if we can come back and challenge
The
Kurt.
key there is he's doing this 3-4 days a week still.
Exactly.
So you better really train.
Exactly.
Priorities.
Kurt,
Word to my
You
buddy
got to
there.
say your prayers, eat your vitamins, brother.
brother. And do your roids. And do a couple shots of D-ball and Winnie V while you're at it.
There you go.
Now, JR, I think you could train for like a 3-point contest. I think you could start training, get the energy there and the stamina there. I think that's something you could compete in. Buddy.
Oh yeah, we could do a shooting contest. It doesn't have to be 1-on-1. I'm not unreasonable.
Kurt's
but
no, if I get my knee checked
out.
if I can get my knee checked out and I know nothing's wrong with my knee and I'm not going to further it anymore or whatever I need to do, I'll play whatever. I don't need no practice. I'll be ready to go. I could go now.
Practice.
I could go right. I could go right now. Not like I used to, but I could go right now and compete in any rec center. Not as long as it's not a bunch of ex-college guys and all that. I go with any men's.
That's
league,
who I play with. I play
stuff.
with former athletes, some professional, international athletes.
Right. When I was in Nashville,
summertime.
Right.
I'm
That's
not
what I would
going
do
against Kurt. You can have that, JR.
Well, when I was in Nashville, when I lived full time in Nashville, downtown Y was like that. I mean, it was hoopers in there. So I have done that, but right now I couldn't do that. I have to get a little better shape for that. But I'm just worried now my knee's gonna give out. Last time I'm telling you that story. Last time I went up and down. One time felt a little pressure. Went to go pick the ball up. Right knee went out, and I'm freaking out, thinking, oh my God, I've torn something. Iced it.
Father Time is undefeated, JR.
Yeah, and it's a little something there, but I'm gonna get that. Kurt. I was thinking about this, and we had Brad Johnson, former NFL quarterback, now trick shot star,
yes, sir.
world champ down with the Tampa Bay Bucks. We had him on, and we were talking about things, when you're a kid and what, that he thinks kids should play all different sports now, and there's things about growing up that you miss if you don't. I was thinking about this, Kurt, when you were talking about hooping. You're a California guy, originally a West Coast guy, now living on the East. Do you feel, because I feel like this and I haven't hooped in a little bit, but when I do go, I feel like when I'm playing basketball, I feel like I'm at home still. I feel like that kid again. Like it's a little bit of home for me. Like I feel like I'm in my gym, and my middle school gym, or the church where I used to shoot, or something like that. It's just being in the gym kind of takes me back in time. It's like a comfort thing at this point for me. You feel that?
I mean, my first love was basketball, and I remember when I fell in love with the game in third grade. When my cousin, who was an assistant coach at one of the colleges in Pennsylvania, did a basketball camp in the summer, and I went out for that and learned how to play the game. And they concluded that camp with a tournament, and in the semifinals, I hit the game-winning three to get us into the finals, just when I fell in love with the three-point shot.
Nice.
And haven't stopped shooting since. And it's anytime on the court, I go back to those places. I remember my high school gym. I played high school ball, obviously in San Diego, and I remember one summer, this glorious summer, the handle on the back door of the gym fell off. So we took it, because then every day we could go in and put the handle back on and turn the thing and get in the gym. So we had these glorious runs that summer.
Nice.
So that's where basketball is that to me. That's where I am. I have never aged mentally and emotionally, on the basketball court. I'm still the same kid from back then.
That's so awesome.
I love it.
Explains why I get in so many fights, probably.
It's that passion, drive, and patience. That's what gets you there.
A lot of trash talk.
Oh, I can only imagine.
I mean, it wouldn't be any fun if there wasn't trash talk.
I'm the worst kind of trash talker, because I can actually back it up. That's just infuriating people.
Oh God, yes,
man,
I love
like
it.
this. I like it. I mean,
that's how I used to be. I was the unassuming guy is usually the deadly one too. If you can really play,
people
look
look at
unassuming,
me.
that's the
Listen,
best.
I don't look like I can ball. I get that. Believe me. And I walk in there and I chuck up a shot from 35 feet away and drain it. I'm like, yep, that's right.
Yep.
That's what I'm talking about. Blasey, I think does Props have a basketball court?
There's basketball. We got two basketball courts within 150 yards in either direction. No, I'd say probably 300 yards in either direction. You got the sports park, and then we got the basketball courts here at Hammock Bay. So yes, there are basketball courts in sight.
I'm just
so we have to get you down, Kurt.
Here.
Yeah, Kurt. We just had we just broke a world record cornhole toss this past week. Blossy and Tigs were in Hammock Bay, near where Blossy lives. It's outside of Destin, Florida.
Oh, okay.
And we have Props Brewery, which Blasey's usually there doing his show live from the brewery when we do our live show. But they have this really nice yard and this facility they've got there. So they set up, and we had the world record cornhole toss that day, and then they had a wrestling match. They set up a ring in the bar.
Yes,
wrestling
right
that night.
Yep.
And actually on camera, fully documented, they broke the world record. Our friend Hal Laird threw one 90.5 feet and made a cornhole shot.
Whoa.
Recorded
Absolutely.
all that stuff. But we
shattered
go to
the world record.
Shattered the world record. We go to Guinness Book of World Records. They want $16,000 for us to put us in the book. So we're like,
tell us that we broke the record and they've got 78 feet. It's like, you can keep your paper title. We know what the real champs are. We got it documented here. Yeah,
it's documented.
That's it.
Paper champions.
That's it.
So we did that, and we're going to have another one next year. We need to get you down. Maybe we'll have a 3-point
I want to do an episode of
contest.
Kurt's Country at that. That sounds fun.
Oh,
there you go. That'd be a nice slice of America.
Oh, it's a great spot. It's huge. It's we've even got our own little studio. I should say it's actually where they brew, but it's glass wall, so we can close off in there, or we can get out there. Cool. We got so many different options there. We got full run of the place. So you let me know. Maybe go over there and bring JR in. We do the one-on-one thing.
Let's do that.
I'm not getting involved with either one of y'all. I'm okay at basketball. That's about it.
We'll record it and watch y'all. We'll be encouraged.
We'll do a little 2 on. It's going to be me and Tigs versus JR and Blassie over here.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair enough.
And I will say this: he's selling himself short. Blasey can play a little bit, but Blasey's also one of those guys that we've talked about on the show before. He started he out of nowhere gets in the long drive competition and ends up on like the major level within like a year or two after we got out of college. So I wouldn't be surprised me if Blasey between now and then said, oh, they're going to do a 3-point contest, and he gets out there and practices and comes out saying he's Steph Curry, Sabrina Ionescu on us or something, or Caitlin Clark.
I'm still not convinced that Blasey's a real person. I still see like the pixelated,
I'm glad you're here to confirm, because he's always thinks we're lying to him because we want him to get a computer instead of using his damn phone for podcasting. Kurt, you're professional in the media world. Do you know any professionals that use their cell phone turned around backwards to do these type interviews?
I've never heard of that before, unless you're maybe like 6 years old. But
right. Now you know a full-grown version.
But Kurt, what's interesting is when this is all said and done, and when Brantley gets the final version, I am probably one of the clearest people on here.
Yeah, he's got the best camera of the.
I really do.
Group.
So
you probably
I
do today, Kurt. You look really good.
You talking to my pixelated face with a finished product that looks really good, and then when we go on StreamYard, I'm always clear the entire time. Yeah. It's so bizarre. It is kind of bizarre.
Weird.
It is weird.
It's not the processor in his phone, though. We've gotten to the bottom of that.
Yeah,
it's not that at all.
Yeah, I've got
it totally is.
I got a gimmicked up internet here. I've just found out today that I've been overpaying for, not getting what I'm supposed to get. So anyway, more to come on that.
It's like being a taxpayer. That's like being a taxpayer in America, huh?
It really
exactly.
Imagine
Taxes keep going up, but nothing gets better ever.
Nothing gets done. More potholes.
And the wages aren't going up either.
Dude,
and the groceries don't even get us started.
You know something that blew my mind? I guess I haven't been keeping up with stamp prices. Somebody asked me the other day, said, "Hey, you know how much a stamp is?" This was 2 days ago. I said 39 cents. I don't know, 42. What? They were like, dude, it just went up to what, 73? Yeah. I was like, dude, 73 cents.
Really?
I was like, when did it's doubled since like 2009? Like more than double. Isn't that crazy? That's insane.
I missed it by one day last week. Killed the post office.
Yeah, true.
Is that what it is, you think?
Absolutely. The volume of mail in this country has dropped tremendously, where the majority of the mail that you actually get is just junk mail or ads. Oh, yeah. It's not like actual mail that you need. Like everything that we used to do by mail is done electronically. Your phone bill, your internet bill, health, like your banking statements, all of it's online or on your phone.
Right.
People generally don't send letters to one another. The only time that the post office circulation is what it normally is during Valentine's Day and Christmas.
That's wild.
It's
like video killed the radio star.
Yep.
And you know what I mean? Like, I think it sounds like a new song we should write.
Yeah, email killed the post office.
Yeah.
That's
I
crazy.
just paid $30 to overnight a letter to Nashville tomorrow. I was like, okay. But yeah, I missed last week. I got there the day after stamps went up because I'd heard about it. I saw it or heard about it on something and tried to get to the post office, and I was like, I need a book of stamps. Did I miss the day?
I don't remember the last time I bought stamps. I'll be honest with you.
Me either.
It's been years
I know
since
either.
I bought stamps.
This sucks because now I'm going to get, what was it, JR? Like $481 for a book of 100?
It was a book of, let's see, what was it? A book of 18 was $13.14 for a book of 18 stamps because I got the
highway robbery
waterfowl.
That's the first thing that's really got me. I was like, have I been like in a coma? Like I didn't realize it. Because usually like 2 or 3 cents every few years. You know what I mean? It's like
seemed like they were a quarter for all our lives as kids. They were a quarter.
For most of my life, it was 32 cents. That's what it was for most of my life.
Yeah.
I mean, remember back in the day, going to a movie was like $3.50 in the afternoon.
True.
Yeah.
Gas when I started driving was $1.05.
Right. Yeah. Same. Yeah. I could get it for 88 cents if we went over the state line in Georgia.
You know, the older that I get, and I listen to like us talking, and then I go back to like what our parents were talking about and stuff. I'm like, oh my God, we're turning into these people.
Yeah, back in my day.
But it really, I don't think that things.
If you're 18 or 20 years old, you can tell these stories now. That's what's scary.
That's
you know what I mean? I remember
correct.
when I was 6 and 7 buying X, Y, and Z at the gas station.
It happens in 5-year increments now instead of 10, 15, 20-year increments. It's shorter, I guess, probably because of technology and communication and all of that has shortened that little window. But yeah, it's crazy. I catch myself all the time.
Think about like when just 20 years ago, there was no YouTube, there was no Twitter or X or Instagram or TikTok or any of that.
None of it.
When I started college in 1998,
Much better.
Yeah.
we never had a
let's
home
be honest.
computer.
If social media existed back in our day, like we all be canceled by now.
Oh yeah,
I don't think the four of us would be doing this right now for sure.
Yeah, thank goodness.
No
it's not.
way.
Oh.
JR be in jail for sure.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%. 100%.
I know.
Me and everyone I
would
knew
be
growing
too.
up, all in prison. Over something that probably shouldn't even be. Half the stuff wouldn't even be illegal these days, which is crazy too.
Correct.
But it's wild out there. Well, Kurt, I know we've taken a lot of your time today. But you got any concerts coming up? You got anything on the horizon? Any big adventures?
I'm definitely going to hit August is always a great concert time for me. I'm looking at, I know just out in my neck of the woods, I got Dan and Shay coming up, Dustin Lynch, Darius Rucker, one of my favorite humans on earth, who's just hilarious to be around, frankly.
Yeah. Good dude.
Get him to give you some mushrooms. Y'all trip.
Dude, Darius also a very big WWE fan. That's one of the things that we bonded over.
Is he really?
Oh yeah. He's got one of Ric Flair's original robes.
Oh man,
Really?
Yeah.
that is pimp. That is pimp.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Like,
The man.
He is like, just old school.
I got to see them when they were playing. He was playing. I think he came back and they were actually playing. Was it Darius or Hootie? I think he was playing as Hootie in San Francisco. This was like in 2019, and I just happened to be out there for work, and I got to go to man. And you talk about just like hit after hit after hit after hit. He was playing everything, you know what I mean? But it was Hootie. He was playing it all.
Yeah.
Like it was amazing. Like there wasn't a single song that you didn't sing along to and you didn't know, man. That absolutely stellar concert.
I love that dude. I saw him in Tiger Stadium here in Baton Rouge.
Oh.
I mean, there's two concert moments that I have in that stadium, and this was the first one. It was just Darius. He wasn't Hootie. That was just Darius. He was doing all of his stuff. Closed it with Wagon Wheel. We're thinking he's closing it with Wagon Wheel. Oh, no, it started raining. Prince had just died, and he did his version of Purple Rain, and the lights were purple. In Death Valley gives me chill bumps right now just thinking about it. Raining, purple.
Oh, that's unbelievable.
Dude, oh, yeah. It was unbelievable. And then the number one moment, though, is, of course, the Garthquake, whenever Garth Brooks played Callin' Baton Rouge.
Mm-hmm.
And the place went crazy. Of course, had another
nothing
earthquake.
like a Garth Stadium show. That's special.
It is, man. They're good. Just I love a stadium show, but you got to have the right artist because it can fall flat quick. And I've seen
I just saw the other month Chesney was at Brown Band at Dallas Cowboys Stadium, and I watching the show.
Wow.
And I look to my right, who's behind me, Dak Prescott, and I look to my left, and who's over there is Brock Lesnar.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Wow.
Neither one of them are small dudes.
No,
let me tell you. You look at Brock, and you're just like, "Oh my!" I feel like less of a man right now. Let me just say, good God, like,
if you're picking your squad, you're picking your squad to play in a game. He's one every time for every man on earth. Period. He's my number one. I got that dude's on my side.
Just a massive. It's like what? How did your parents feed you when you're that big? And they're getting bigger every day. It's wild. No, we didn't get.
Sure
those.
are, brother. Man, thanks so much for having me, man. This has been a blast. I hope y'all have me back because this is a lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, we definitely are.
Thanks for hopping on today.
Hey, I got one last question for you, though, Kurt. This is something new I want to start doing with everybody. And there were some big names you just dropped there. Who is the biggest name or most well-known person that you have in your cell phone?
Probably. Okay, I'm going to give you two answers. At one point in time, it was Kobe Bryant.
Wow.
And
wow.
And the story behind that, I guessed his email address one time, sent him an email. He responded like, "Holy shit, that worked! Are you kidding me?
What? Are you kidding me?
I'm not." So and then started a rapport with him about some stuff, and then I would say, I think you can make a case that maybe Mark Cuban might be the biggest.
Wow.
Pretty daggum big one.
Pretty good. Pretty big one.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
Wow. It's like I'm kind of torn. It's like it's either Mark or McGraw. It's like one of those two. Tim McGraw would be one too.
Oh, man, that's
See,
solid.
And
That's
see,
solid
y'all just thought I knew some people. You know what I mean? It's not about what you know, it's who you know. And I know Kurt, and Kurt knows everybody. So
That's awesome.
So
man.
we'll have Kurt back on again soon. This is going to be a wild electoral
really is.
season.
Oh, yeah.
Kurt, you're going to have to be our resident.
I'll be your DC correspondent
that's
here.
what we'll
That's
thank
it.
you.
For Tigs
It's
and
an,
Bits.
an
yeah, you
official
are.
title.
Hey,
That's
JR,
what
I got one phone number in here, and we'll move on from this that you're not going to believe.
Bring it.
Cell phone number, Nick Saban. Let's move on.
Oh, hey.
Alabama, that'll get you. That'll save some tickets in Alabama.
Now,
Yeah,
story's about as weird as Kurt's over there. I'll just save it. So, yeah.
And
I heard
Brantley's
somebody
gonna
say it one night. They said it out loud, and I just took it, and it was right, too. I called it once only, and that's it. I confirmed, and I've never called it again.
Wow.
Nice. That's good.
That's
Yeah,
slick.
that's it.
That's slick. Well, Kurt, Brantley's going to be reaching out to you soon. So he's going to pick your brain on how you've created this empire you have with your media and all the cool things you do, like sending random emails to Kobe Bryant and getting him to respond, which is awesome. R.I.P. Kobe. That's a good one, Kurt. Well, thank you, brother.
Yeah,
I love you, buddy. I hope to see you soon, and
Yes,
we'll catch up. And they held me to this. I told them one time I'd love to come on anytime they needed me, and I've been on here for 6 months every week, 3 times a week. So
Hotel California. Oh my God.
we'll be in touch.
Hey, anytime you want me, I'm here, brother.
What a great time we had with our buddy Kurt Burdella, catching up with him. Wasn't that great, guys?
That was unbelievable, man. How fun is that? We have an official DC correspondent now.
Yes,
that
we
came
do.
Out of that, and if he doesn't think we're going to double down on that,
he's come to the wrong place.
He has come to the wrong place.
We work those angles
advantage of
around
that.
here,
We're
buddy.
going to run that as far as we can, baby.
Absolutely.
We got senior
yeah.
correspondents right here all around us. You don't think we have a DC correspondent we're not going to utilize you? Shoot.
Oh yeah, Kurt,
Watch
you think
out.
you can get Chris Como on the show?
Chris,
Dial
come
Chris
on
up.
in.
He probably can't.
Dude,
Nothing
what's
would
some
surprise me anymore.
great stories, great insight, well spoken. I really appreciate Kurt doing that. He's
Yes.
really good, and he'll do that, guys. He wasn't BSing us. He'll come back on if we hit him up, need him from time to time. He'll jump on with us. I hope everybody in the Bubba Army enjoyed that. Y'all go check Kurt Burdella out on socials. We'll make sure to tag it on the show stuff. But Blasey, you had something you wanted to drop on us before the show, but we didn't get started. I messed us up this week per usual. I'll go ahead and take the heat. I'm always messing our times up with my cockamamie schemes and time changes right there for showtime. We need radios like we have on the road where I can just we're gonna do 9:05, pushing it back 5,
Like the old Southern Link or something. Maybe we need 3 Southern Links.
yeah.
Or
That way I can
Dextel.
say, all right, I'm done.
Yeah,
Let's
Nextel.
roll.
All that
Yep.
stuff. Yes.
Roll
Yeah,
the
here we
intro.
go. When you hear the beep beep, we got to know things have changed.
Well, when you
Things have
texted
changed,
us, I
folks.
was in the shower. So when you called, I was on a phone call putting out a fire. So it was just like, whatever, dude. Who cares? JR brings
good.
nothing but surprises and good surprises. When I knew something was stirring.
I knew when I saw the
Basically-
phone ring, and I was like, because I was debating to do this in the shed, deciding the temperature. Temperature's down a touch. My shed can handle this.
Cloudy.
It's actually sun's out here, but it's just the temperature. It's like 93. The humidity's down, so it's just displaced it like a sweat box out here.
Right.
Even with AC running. So I was out here trying to make a decision. Am I going to do this from the couch, or I'm going to do this from out here? And I'm actually standing in here, and I went, "Oh, this is nice." And all of a sudden, the phone rings, and I was like, "And it's JR." And so I was in the middle of processing all that. I was, and then got the news, so it's like I had to start making my final decisions of where I'm going right there. So here we are, but. Back to one thing, I know this show has continued to evolve, and we've continued to evolve as an organization. We are now a bona fide LLC.
Yep.
We now have, people are like, whatever, everybody has this, don't they? No.
Yeah.
When's the last time you had a show, So we now have, a bank account. We're legitimate there. And now, as of today,
It has nothing in it,
folks,
by the way, people. It's not full yet. It's very
It
very
actually
empty.
does. I put too much money in there. I didn't mean to. I did an initial deposit. I forgot. I told them, And I got a warning. It said, you have a zero balance. Today came up, and I started freaking out, adding money. But then they added the money that I also told them. So, yeah, we got to clean that up. There's too much money in there.
Maybe
Off
I
to
do
a great
need to
start with
download
all these new ventures.
Let
Yes,
me
we
download
are.
this app right now so I can withdraw some of this
know.
money.
And I was like, well, I don't want to start withdrawing money. They're going to look in the first day. We got controversy. Who's taking money out of the account? The business account is going down. Like, guys,
just right off
the
the
one
top.
that's added money to it.
Anna's in the corner just grinning.
I swear I was about to retract it, and I was like, no, I got to talk to him first. I don't need to start off the wrong foot. There's already withdrawals taking place. But no, so
and if that ain't country, I'll kiss your ass.
oh my God!
You'll take a check? Hell, I'll just pay the thing off. I thought you needed real money.
I owe you.
I owe you. Like a ransom came through the other day. I think Brantley got that. Some guy was trying to extort me over here for $1 million. So nobody ever paid the ransom. I thought Brantley would come running over here to help me out. So, but anyway, so listen. But we do have some good news as well. We now have an opportunity for all our listeners out there. Like, if you want to somehow donate to the show, you want to tip us, you want to buy something from whatever it is. If there's something you want us to do, cut some sort of a promo for you. Anything at all, we now have a way to take some money through Venmo. We're set up on Venmo now at Tigs Bits, keeping it simple, at Tigs Bits on Venmo. That's where we live in that world. So anyway, I know some people have been asking about that. It's like, here you go. We're not the same as Bubba, like the way we drive that. It's a different deal. But like at the end of the day, somebody wants to give us a tip. Absolutely. Thanks for taking a tip.
Like you said, if someone wants us to mention something on air, or talk about something, or sing them happy birthday, whatever, just let us know. And we'll try to work it out. And because we appreciate
Guns
it.
for hire, baby.
Yes, and it does take money. It does, and Brantley and I got to drop some bread in there too. I'm gonna hit Bubba up and see if he'll give me an advance. I'll go through Seth. That seems to be working well these days.
Yes.
But this stuff does cost money. All these subscriptions, all this stuff. Obviously, we got to get Blasey some better gear at some point. All these things cost money, and it's good to it's just like anything else. Hobbies, it takes a little money to have fun at doing your hobbies, and but it'd be nice not to, go too far the opposite direction for fun.
Yes.
And we want to be able to put out as much content as possible. So being able to keep up some of these fees and things that we need to keep the show going will help do that, and then spur more content and things for us to do. Basically.
That's right.
So
absolutely,
thank you guys
well
in advance.
said. Well
but
said.
Not if you don't. It's totally fine either way. We're still going to have podcasts every week. We're going to have a TV show. We're going to drop exclusives, all that fun stuff. So no stress, not putting any pressure on anyone. Just letting everybody know it's out there. If you're sitting around and enjoying the show and you got a $5 bill you want to throw our way, say, hey, that was fun. I didn't go to the bar and spend $100. I sat at home, drank a 6-pack I paid $9 for. Let me give the boys $5. We'll appreciate it.
We'll appreciate it. We will shout you out, and it will be put to use wisely. I
love on their show. Lemmy he'll cut anybody off if somebody drops him some bread. He'll say right in the middle, whoever it is.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. While we're saying this, y'all go like our YouTube page. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. We're trying to get to where you can do that whenever we're doing our live chats. We're really close, boys. We just need a handful of couple hundred more watch hours on our videos. We've been pumping out a lot of content. Got another video dropping today.
Nice.
Whenever you're listening to this, there'll be a video dropping that day too. So don't worry.
Yes.
A lot of content
spread the word.
coming. Yes. Spread the word.
Send it
help
to
us
your
out.
family,
share
friends.
it. Like us. You can just go to tigsbits.com and that'll take you to everything.
I tell people, if you find somebody and you ask them what their favorite podcast is, and they say they don't listen to podcasts or they don't know about podcasts, it's the Purple app on your phone. Like, I don't ever do that. Get their phone, especially if they're a family member. If it's your cousin or something, or your mom or your dad or your sister or whoever, any family member, or just a friend. If you're close enough, grab their phone, go on the Purple thing or Spotify or any of those things. Put in Tigs Bits, put in Bubba Army, put in a couple of things that you actually like on their phone,
Purple,
and then
go.
Go, and that way they they have it on their phone, go ahead and pre-download it for them. If they never listen to it, great. It helps the show that you already like. If they do start listening to anything that you turn them on to, not just our show, put all the shows you like on their phone.
Yes.
And if they ever get a wild hair to want to do something new, they're on a plane, they're on a train, they're riding in an automobile, they can go on there and have something to jam on. And when you send them the link, because if you have an interview of something you know they would enjoy, you can send them that link. Then when they click on it, they don't have to sign up, wait for an app to download, wait for a show. The show's already on their phone. They push click, they get to listen to
You're doing them a favor.
That's exactly right.
So
exactly
that's my
right.
PSA of the day.
I love it. Well, that was a good one, boys. That was a good show. There's no doubt, man. Appreciate Kurt coming on. We tidied up some business on the front end, tidied it up on the back end too, and had one hell of a show in between. You guys are welcome.
Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank you, Bubba Army. Thank you, everybody not in the Bubba Army. Anybody that supports the Tigs Bits podcast, we appreciate you because everybody loves Tigs Bits.
Everybody loves Tigs Bits.
We'll see you.
See y'all.